Cool. There we go. It's working. Hold on. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for. We'll find out. I'm going to try programming something here. Particularly, let's get the song creator on the stream. Bumped up the version. There we go. Go to set list. It opens up. We'll be right back. All right. Programming time. All right. So trying to think of, I'm trying to think of changing around current chat screen, or sorry, the stat screen from the Pygame screen to the tkinter screen. Just a difference of areas to display the same information and things like that. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so I have a Python project, obviously, and currently I am a Python project, hold on. So I have a Python project. Currently I am using Pygame to display information on the screen. And this is not the most convenient method because I have to define everything myself and it's a lot of reinventing the wheel, so to speak. So to change that, I would like to instead display information inside of a tkinter screen, TK, GUI, that is much more friendly, such as having a tree and things like that. So with that said, let me describe the concept of this particular area. So my project is a rhythm game, play guitar and get the stats, kind of like Guitar Hero and Rocksmith. And in particular, the area I'm looking at is a stats screen. So I play the JSON, or I play the file, or I play the song, sorry, and I play the song, and then it generates a JSON file. And after that, I view this stats screen to view a particular JSON file, open a JSON file, and then on top of that, it's going to display the stats of this JSON file, such as accuracy, notes hit, notes missed, and things like that. So to compare that information with other JSON files of my previous playthroughs, on top of other functionalities such as drawing matplotlib graphs and things like that. So I could start setting the code, but I just wanted to give a little overview first.
That sounds like a great improvement for your project, Kyle the Guitar Man. tkinter will definitely make it easier to create and manage your UI components. Let's start by setting up a basic tkinter application that can load and display JSON stats, and then we can add more features like comparisons and matplotlib graphs. Here's a basic outline of what we'll do. Create a tkinter window. Add a file dialog to load JSON files. Display the JSON data in a more user-friendly format, like a tree view. Integrate matplotlib to display graphs. First, let's create the basic tkinter application. This basic tkinter app will allow you to load a JSON file and display its contents in a tree view widget. You can build on this to add more fun. That sounds like a great improvement. This basic tkinter app will allow you to load a
Well, the thing is I already have code that I'm trying to convert from the Pygame screen to the tkinter screen. So to start off, I'm going to have two different areas on the tkinter area. And the first one's going to be the root, and the next one's going to be the parent frame. Now for starters, there's two different areas or two different flows when entering this screen. One is when I enter the screen for the stats, it's going to display all the JSON files of the stats for that song. And the other flow is after the song is completed, it's going to force me into this stats area automatically. And the next thing is when I'm done playing a song, it's going to force me into the stats screen for this particular song. So hold on the code yet. I'd rather send you my code and modify it than you send me blank code. Okay? Just hold on there. Okay, so first up, regarding the... Okay, so first up, regarding the initial display of entering the screen and displaying the list of other stats. Let's start with that, okay? Here's the init method. I just added the parent frame and root definitions to extend on in a little bit. But you notice how, in particular, we have JSON file buttons, right? So for example, to see the list of the stat or the JSON files to choose from, I have different variables going on. In particular, if not displaying JSON data and not displaying common misses, it's going to draw the buttons. So for starters, let's draw the list of options to choose from in the tkinter version. Although I currently do have a Pygame draw or a run method, which is while true that I have to figure out to have the root also be updated from tkinter side.
Thanks for sharing your code, Kyle the Guitar Man. Let's start by converting the initial display of the JSON files to tkinter. We'll use a tree view widget to display the list of JSON files and allow selection from this list. We'll also create buttons for navigation and other functionalities. Here's a starting point for converting your stats screen class to use tkinter. We'll focus on the initial display of JSON files. In this code, we set up a tkinter window with a tree view widget to display the list of JSON files. Added buttons for various actions like back, visualize, common misses, etc. Provided placeholder methods for button actions which you can fill in with your specific functionality. Next step.
So annoying how it cuts off the audio like that. But that's the program that I'm using a certain library. It does that. Okay, that's expected. I didn't. Hey, what the heck? Interesting. It started to work. Forget one thing though. We got to make it switch to the song visualizer tab on the GUI. Let's try again. There we go, like this. Okay, back visualize common missions chords only by measure debug. Okay, to start. I don't have to limit it to 8 now. That's the interesting part. Um, JSON file buttons enumerate. I could uh, get more JSON file buttons here. Somewhere I'll have 8 as a limit. I'm gonna get rid of that limit. Or it's actually not 8. What is it? How many is it? JSON file buttons. Somewhere I defined it. Equals enumerate JSON files equals get recent JSON files limit to 8. Somewhere I put the limit. Files num oh right here num files equal 8. Let's try disabling that and see what happens. Will there be more than 8? Not yet, at least. Files sorted, num files, file sorted. Let's print it anyways. Number of files. Oh, one, let's stacked it twice. That's not good. To say if not exists. Okay, this is a start. We have to get it so that there's no duplicates if I hit it twice. Okay, now I just modified it so that,
Modify the setup
hold
to
on.
ensure the tree view is cleared before adding new items. This way, there won't be any duplicates if the method is called multiple times. Here's the updated code. In this update, the display_JSON_files method first clears any existing items in the tree view using self.tree.delete item for each item. This ensures that there are no duplicates if the method is called multiple times. Feel free to test this and let me know if any further adjustments are needed.
Not what I wanted. Oh, it's because it didn't delete. Let me try getting it to delete first. Will it be this easy? Frame destroy unclose? Let's see. Okay, kind of. Still gotta get all the buttons. You gotta get it to switch back when closing out. Let's see. Stats, back. There we go. Fix the width later. Now the thing is, it's adding to the parent frame. Okay. We're gonna... Actually, is it? Is it adding to the parent frame or the root? Interesting. It's adding to the root. Let's try changing it. From the root to the parent frame. Okay, that's better. Okay, I modified the back action to function as I expected to clear up, and I modified the setup UI to not set up the frame inside the root, but instead as the parent frame. And that's because I want to use the root as the area that displays when I click on one of those JSON files in the list. And what I mean is, this is the current example that I have for when I click on one of the files on the Pygame screen. Basically, it's just looking at the files before it and comparing the one I have open with the one from before. It's comparing the previous two files at least. So the current file and previous two files at least. There's actually a bit more to it, such as this part.
Thanks for the detailed explanation and code snippets, Kyle the Guitar Man. Let's adapt this to tkinter. We will break down the tasks as follows. Setting up the UI for JSON file selection. Displaying selected JSON file data and comparisons. Implementing the logic for buttons and actions. First, let's update the setup_UI method to ensure the frame is set up inside the parent frame, and handle the button visibility logic based on the selected
Zero
file.
back. Right back. Let's do this.
Here's an updated version. In this update, the on_tree_select method is added to handle the selection of a JSON file in the tree view. It updates the selected _file attribute and enables the visualize button. The display_JSON_data method handles the display of selected JSON file data and comparisons with previous files. The back_action and back_to_main methods are updated to destroy the current frame and reset the UI. This should provide the basic functionality to select and display JSON file data, with the option to compare with previous files. You can expand the display_JSON_data method to include additional stats and comparison logic as needed. Let me know if you need further adjustments or additional features.
No, I don't like what you're doing here. I don't like that you set a new function, clean song title, when I don't have that. I don't like that you didn't listen to my setup UI requiring to use the frame as my parent rather than the root. I don't understand why you're not listening. Oh, never mind, I looked at the wrong thing. What are you doing? The visualize button is a different purpose entirely. The behavior that I want for selecting a song is to display the data. What I mean select is selecting one of the JSON files.
Got it, Kyle the Guitar Man. Let's adjust the code so that selecting a JSON file from the tree view will display the data immediately. The Visualize button will be handled separately based on your requirements later. Here's the revised code. In this update, selecting a JSON file from the tree view, on_tree_select method, triggers the display_JSON_data method, which clears the previous content and displays the selected file's data. The display_JSON_data method is updated to show the selected file's data and comparisons with the previous two files, if available. This should provide the behavior you described, where selecting a JSON file immediately displays its data. Let me know if further adjustments are needed. The error occurs because the value retrieved from the tree view selection is a string identifier, not an index. We need to get the correct index or the file path associated with the selected item. Let's fix the code to correctly map the selected item to the JSON file. We'll use the tree view's item method to get the correct index from the selection. Here is the updated code. Changes made. Used it equals I in the tree view insert method to set the item index correctly. Updated the on_tree_select method to get the correct index using int, selected_item. This should resolve the error and allow the correct display of JSON file data when a file is selected from the tree view. Let me know if you encounter any other issues.
Okay, well, it's a start. Currently it's displaying the one JSON file that I select, but I don't like how it overtakes the current area. I want it to append. And what I mean by that, since the setup UI is in the parent frame, I want to display the JSON data in the root.
Understood, Kyle the Guitar Man. We'll keep the setup UI in the parent_frame and display the JSON data in the root frame. This will ensure the JSON data is appended to the main area without overtaking the current area. Let's update the display_JSON_data method to display the JSON data in the root frame. Here's the revised code. Changes made. The display_JSON_data method now creates a new frame, JSON_data_frame, inside the root frame to display the JSON data. The on_tree_select method triggers the display
Okay, this is better. However, I only see the stats for the current song note selected. Am I missing the comparison anywhere? I see you have the code there, but when I run the code, I don't see actually any comparison. Are you sure that the logic? I think you have the indexes reversed and for the comparison. For example, if I select the very top index, number 1 on the list, I notice that when I go through the debugging, when the comparison index tries to go to the next song, it seems like it goes to the previous one, but there is no previous to the first one, when instead it should be going to the next index.
Got it, Kyle the Guitar Man. It seems like you want to compare the selected file with the next two files rather than the previous two files. I'll adjust the code to correctly navigate to the next indices for comparison. Here's the updated version. Changes made. Adjusted the comparison logic in display_JSON_data to compare the selected file with the next two files instead of the previous two files. This should now correctly navigate to the next indices for comparison. Let me know if further adjustments are needed.
All right. How do you suggest I get the visualize implementation in? All right. Just give me a second. Alright, what I'm doing is I'm having two different things display the same thing. So having both the Pygame and the tkinter screen interactable. Interesting. You know what? I think might have a fix for what I was encountering here. So always when I'm in this menu on the open screen, I have an issue where I can't click anything. But I think I know where to fix it. Add another line here. Hold on. So that way I could click the tkinter side while I'm on the Pygame side. Okay, let me try this. No, I still can't click. Oh, whoops, I missed a spot. Let me try again. Hey, I fixed it. Now I could click it while I'm on the screen. Nice. No, I'm just tying both of the menus to do the same actions. Back button in one area does things in another area. I'm initializing everything at the start. Didn't work. Strange. Oh, I know what. Hold on. There we go. Had initialized some values as none. Interesting that going back on this particular menu doesn't go back on the stats screen. Okay, it's only displaying 8 though. It should be displaying more. Here we go. I should add its other data to be displayed here. Hold on. Okay, in regards to the JSON data, the reverse the selection here. So when you choose this one, April 15th, April 13th, March, there we go. I had to change, swap the indexing around. Before that, I went the reverse. Okay, there's at least two areas of improvement that I'd like here in the screenshot in particular, on both the root and the parent frame. That is for the list of the JSON files inside the parent frame to include more columns. There's data that I would like to be retrieved from those particular JSON files row by row to be displayed as additional columns. And I could give you the examples of what I mean by that. Let me show you an example of some of the note log JSON that I would like to extract. To be displayed inside the original tree.
Got it, Kyle the Guitar Man. Let's enhance the tree view to include additional columns for displaying more detailed information from the JSON files. We'll extract the relevant data from each JSON file and add it to the tree view.
I'm going to push what I have now so I don't get it lost. Because it's functional. That's green WT Liz tkinter bug
Here is
fix
the
on
updated code.
OpenGPL Hive
In this
screen.
update, Added more columns to the tree view to display additional data, total score, accuracy, longest streak, hit count, miss count. Extracted the relevant data from each JSON file and inserted it into the tree view. Now, the tree view should display the additional data for each JSON file in separate columns. Let me know if further adjustments are needed.
Let's see if this works. More information to be displayed. Of course, I broke it. Try again. Okay. We'll get there.
The error you're seeing is because the self.json_files list contains file paths as strings, but the self.json_files_data list contains dictionaries with the file data. In the setup_UI method, we should be using self.json_files_data instead of self.json_files when accessing the file data.
What? What is JSON files data? Get JSON files data. What? That's a new thing. Okay.
Here's the corrected version of the code. Changes made. Updated the on_tree_select method to use the file key from self.json_files_data to get the correct file path. Adjusted the setup_UI method to ensure the correct data is used when setting up the tree view. This should now correctly handle the data and display it in the tree view with additional columns. Let me know if there are any further issues.
I'll try it. JSON files TK. JSON files data. Okay. That's something. I don't like how the index has such large a width. Hold on. See how it goes. Want to make the width on this tree
To adjust the width of the columns in the tree view and ensure that the index column is smaller while the file column is larger, you can specify the width of each column individually. Here's the updated code to achieve that. In this update, set the width of the index column to 50. Set the width of the file column to 300. Retain the width of the other columns at 100. This should make the index column smaller and the file column larger, improving the overall layout of the tree view. Let me know if further adjustments are needed.
Whoops, I didn't mean to pack it twice. Let's see, tree pack. Let's try this again. Change the width around. Okay, much better. But when I select it, it doesn't display. So I have to update that now. Nope, still don't work. I have to update this next area.
Sure, we can update the display_JSON_data method to reference the data by index and look at the next files instead of the previous ones.
No, what I mean is for that area to look at the JSON files data. No, what I mean is for that area to look at the JSON files data by the index and pull the data from there. It's already got the accuracy and all that stuff to compare with.
Here's the updated code. Changes made. Display_JSON_data method now
Never mind,
accepts
that's
an
what you
index
did.
parameter to reference the data by index.
Okay, let's try that.
Instead of looking at the previous files, it now looks at the next files for comparisons. This should now correctly display the data and comparisons by looking at the next.
No, still didn't work. Okay, debug time. Oh wait, did I accidentally get rid of the bind? Oh yeah, I did. That would explain it. I have to add the action, the hook event. What happens when you click it? Bind it to an action. Try this. No, okay, I broke it. Index. JSON data is missing. Oh yes, it is. I see. Now I just added that index it's missing. Let's see. Okay, better. Okay, this is better. However, can I improve the current way that the root is displaying the data compared to the parent frame. What I mean is the tree view is really nice to read. Great format, has a column, row, index concept. However, the raw text is not as easy to read. So how can I make the aspect of visualizing the data more easy to digest the comparisons between the three different playthroughs going on here?
To improve the readability of the displayed data in the root frame, you can use a ttk.tree view or a grid of label widgets instead of raw text labels. This will provide a structured layout similar to the tree view used in the parent frame. Let's create a grid layout using label widgets to format the data in a more readable way.
Neat. Sounds good. And at some point getting the other button functionality implemented. Great.
Here's the updated display_JSON_data method. Changes made. Replaced the raw text labels in display_JSON_data with a ttk.tree view to display the data in a structured table format. The tree view has two columns, description and value, to display the data and comparisons in a more readable way. This should make the data in the root frame more structured and easier to read. Let me know if further adjustments are needed.
Yeah, you could just make the changes for me. That'd be great. All right. Next step, stats, click. What am I looking at here? If, huh, how to digest this information going on here. How do you make it easy to interpret? This makes it a little bit more difficult, if you ask me, to understand. Okay, the thing about this is that um, this perhaps actually may be more difficult to interpret as a user, what's going on. The idea is to compare the current playthrough selected with the two playthroughs right before it and compare, and making that as easy as possible to digest. And this current format seems a bit difficult to read. It's a lot of correlating what fits in where, so I don't think this worked as good as we thought.
Let's try another approach to make the data comparison clearer and more visually intuitive. We can use a table-like structure but enhance the layout to clearly delineate the comparisons. This can be done by grouping related data and using colors or bold text to highlight changes.
Okay, well, might just have to. Okay, well, might just have to revert all this crap here and just go back and leave it to the text and move on to something else because there's other things to do as well. But we'll try it at first. Let's see what this looks like. How can it be any worse? Oh, wait, why did I change that area?
Here's an approach using a combination of frame and label widgets with enhanced formatting. In this update,
Every time you send me
added a
the
more
code,
structured.
it's frustrating because you don't follow the names that I had to update. For example, look at this code. I had to redefine the buttons names because otherwise they'd be duplicate, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be unique to TK. What I mean by that is I'm just trying to change the areas that are required, in particular to the code that you send me, and I don't understand where it is I'm supposed to change with the code you sent. Display JSON data, correct? Then why do you send me every single thing else every other time? Anyways, with that said, okay. Um, this does make it slightly better to read in the current format. It's better than the first version. Still can be improved somehow. If you have any recommendations to further enhance display JSON data in particular.
I apologize for any confusion caused. Let's focus on enhancing the display_JSON_data function to make the data even clearer. To keep things organized and ensure unique button names, I'll use your naming conventions and improve the display further.
Okay, on the version before this, the one that before I made any changes, according to the screenshot, the
Here's an
comparison
improved
name
version of the
is still having too much truncated file
display_JSON_data
name.
method with enhanced formatting.
Now, in the most recent version that you just sent, is better. I do like the dividers. However, if you looked at the file name, it's still cutting off. And it's confusing because when I first read it, it said March 2. And I go, what do you mean March 2? And it's actually March 22nd. So that can get confusing.
Got it, Kyle the Guitar Man. To avoid truncating the file names and ensure that the dates are clear, I'll adjust the layout to allow for the full file name to be displayed. Additionally, I'll ensure that the dividers and headers are consistent and clear.
So let's try this, see what it looks like.
Here's the updated code.
Yes, I can see it's updated. Let's try it. What in the world is this? This is not correct file name at all. It seems to be looping the... Oh, never mind. It's the full file path. I don't want that. I want the file name.
I understand the issue. You want to display just the file name, not the full path. We can use os.path.basename to extract the file name from the full path.
We're gonna try that. I'm about to play some Deep Rock Galactic as well.
Here's the updated code that displays only the file name.
Yeah, that's what I want. Let's see. Better. I'll take it. Wait. The first file is still not correct. We got that. Let's try again. Oh, hold on. Let me see what I have to do. I have to wrap it. All right, let's try this. Oh, I think that's a good spot to stop.